Welcome back, guys. This is TKoW here, and this is yet another new What If fanfiction. This is the Guardian Kitsune, and that's the name of the fanfiction. But this is What If Naruto was the Guardian Kitsune of the Konoha. This is a story by the Riku T160. It's a pretty short one. I'm pretty sure it only has well, I say short, there's 27 chapters. But anyways, I'll be covering a few in this What If, and now, here's a little summary. Naruto leaves Konoha at an early age in order to save it by becoming the Guardian Kitsune, a height-challenged S-ranked bounty hunter with a ramen obsession. He vows not to become the Hokage, but to protect Konoha, even if it means sacrificing himself and being hated, all the while being joined by an ex-Root agent and another Uzumaki who loves the battlefield. Anyways, I hope you guys get a hint of who the ex-Root agent is, Itachi. But anyway, I hope you'll enjoy it. Let's get right into it. In the description, also don't forget to follow the creator, link in the description below, and don't forget to join the Discord server, also link in the description below. 100 likes for part 2. Anyways, this was TheKingofWEEBs there. Please take care, stay safe. Joking. Let's get into it.
7.5 years after the Kyuubi attacked, Naruto Uzumaki was dashing through the forests outside of Konoha. Why, you may ask? The reason was because he had no choice. In order to protect his home, he had to abandon it. Flashback: Naruto had just finished his daily practice with his brothers, Shisui and Itachi Uchiha. The 7-year-old was often protected by the two Uchihas from the scorn of the villagers. The two teens were the ones Naruto trusted the most, even more than his so-called G, the Hokage. Ever since he turned 4, Naruto had worked with the two, learning everything from survival and life skills to the ninja arts. See, Naruto was a certifiable genius, but due to the villagers' hate, everyone but Itachi and Shisui saw only Naruto's mask. He was a mid-chunin level in every regard, but to protect himself from not only the village but also certain parties wanting to use him, Naruto acted a buffoon. In the academy he couldn't pass a simple geography test or name the 5 major villages. In his lessons with Itachi he knew extensive history on all of the shinobi villages and the basic security breaches of each memorized. Having 2 Anbu captains as senseis pays off. In the academy Naruto couldn't create a simple bushin and didn't know what an elemental affinity was. With his brothers he learned the Kage bushin when he was 5 and had mastery over wind and was working on the second step of his fire affinity. The 3rd Hokage knew Naruto hung out with the 2 Uchihas but believed he just worked on tracking and trap skills. His pranks showed his mastery in those fields. I wonder what kind of ramen I should have tonight. Our hero wondered aloud, sounding like a dimwit, when in actuality he was tracking the movements of a shadow that had been tailing him for the past hour. Deftly maneuvering to an abandoned training field, Naruto dropped the ruse. "Shisui ni, I know you're there. Why are you stalking me?" he called out to the darkness. A second later and a smiling Shisui appears in front of him. "Good sensing skills, Gaki. You made sure to appear nonchalant as you led me to a place of your choosing. Most Anbu have nothing on you in tracking and traps." At this Naruto smiles, pleased by his Ni-san's praise. However, he continued, "Don't get cocky. As shinobi, we must always improve ourselves for the sake of the village." Shisui continues like this for a few minutes, talking about the shinobi way. And how it was his duty as not only a Jinchuriku but also the son of the previous Hokage to protect Konoha. Yes, Naruto knew about the Kyuubi and his heritage. Contrary to popular belief, Naruto was very good at piecing the truth together. By seeing the way the 3rd looked at him, his birthday, and the picture of the 4th in the Hokage's office, Naruto has able to discern exactly who his parents were. And any moron would be able to piece together that they were a Jinchuriku simply by seeing the seal on their stomach, their birthday, and listening to the villagers calling them Kyuubi brat. That, and the fact that Naruto was an intermediate level Fuinjutsu user. Shisui and Itachi confirmed it when he confronted them about it after his 5th birthday. They were worried about Naruto hating his father and the village for his hellish life, but instead Naruto proved he was already a shinobi. Flashback within a flashback. It's settled then, Naruto states. Itachi and Shisui hitch their breaths, fearing the worst. "I'm going to protect Konoha till the day I die. My father wanted me to be seen a hero, but that's not happening. So instead I'll be a silent hero, protecting Konoha even if I die in a ditch somewhere doing it, never to be thought of again. I'll still be Konoha's shield and hero." I swear it on my nindo, my ninja way. And, with that Naruto sliced his palm to signify his oath being worth his blood. Both Uchihas were amazed. Here was a boy who had every reason to turn his back on the village, proclaim on his nindo that he would protect it, even if he was seen as nothing throughout the entire village. Shisui takes out his kunai and slices his palm, letting it drip onto the earth. I stand by you, little brother. I promise to put the village first, and do whatever it takes to uphold Konoha's will of fire. Itachi does the same, adding, to be true ninjas. That is our dream. Back to regular flashback. After that day Naruto's training took off. The boys snuck into the Namikaze house the next month, and through the use of sealing scroll, Naruto had a treasure trove of ninjutsu, kenjutsu, fuinjutsu, chakra control, genjutsu, and taijutsu. Itachi and Shisui learned all they could from the scrolls as well. By the time of the start of the story, Naruto had mastered the Rasengan as well as the Hiroshin, but only through the use of kunai with seal tags. He couldn't create tags on the go like his father could, but he was getting there. Now both Shisui and Itachi carried the special kunai with them at all times, just in case. Along with those, Naruto could use multiple wind and fire techniques, the basics of the Uzumaki Kenjutsu style as well as a few simple genjutsu, though that was hard before he struck a deal with the fox to stop messing with his chakra control in exchange for sensory access. The two have since become great friends, and Naruto learned a lot from Kurama, Kyuubi's name, including the fox summons, and I plan to cover this in future updates, but I am trying not to bore y'all with the story setup. Naruto, the tone in Shisui's voice brought him back. This was his serious tone, one used more and more as of late due to the Uchiha's planned coup. You know how Itachi and I have been trying to figure out the coup plans in order to stop it. I nod, now excited to hear any news on the wayward clan's intentions. If things didn't improve things soon, then they would have to go with the Hokage's and Danzo's plan. Assassination and then blame one of his Nisans in order to prevent a civil war as well as other nations taking advantage. Well, good news and bad news. The good news is it revolves around one person, so stopping that one person's role stops the coup. The bad news is that person is you, Naruto. My eyes widen as Shisui continues, his eyes pained in the moonlight. Little brother, I have to ask, do you love Konoha? I nod with conviction. Then, you must abandon it. Ellipsis. What? I shout, unable to hide my horror and confusion. Abandon my home? How would that help? Except, by having me leave for an indiscernible time period allows you and Itachi ni to quietly change the Uchiha leadership and ideals. It saves Konoha by preventing a strong shinobi clan being lost forever and prevents war, I say with dull eyes. Shisui nod, grim. You are right, little brother. I don't want to ask this of you. If you don't feel up to it, tell me and I will take the fall for what must be done. I look up to see Shisui's eyes. His dark orbs hold pain and resignation. He accepts that he might have to be a kin killer, the lowest of the low. I can't let that happen. We are going through with this crazy plan, aren't we, Kit? Kurama's voice rings out in my head. Good, he says, startling me. Traveling will do you good. I can teach you so much more where you don't need to hide behind a stupid mask. Hey, we should go missing nin hunting on our travels, build up your experience. I mentally nod, grateful for the advice of my closest friend. I'll do it. My voice rises with convention, and I can see Shisui. His eyes are hopeful yet saddened that his little brother must take on such responsibility. While I am gone, I'll gather information and work my way through the bingo books. If you leave one of my kunai in your closet, I can teleport any important info to you regarding Konoha. When do I leave? Shisui's eyes harden with resolve, my preserved confidence rubbing off. Tomorrow night. The academy lets out for break tomorrow. So, you can sneak out to the forest and meet Itachi. He'll have everything you need. I placed Hiroshin kunai in Wave Country on my last mission as well as in the Land of Winds and the Land of Birds. You can teleport to one of those spots. It will be 2 days later that Itachi and I will report you missing after not making practice. The Uchihas will not be able to go through with their plans. However, you will need to make it look like you ran away to avoid the hatred here. I know I am asking a lot, but no, both Itachi and I are so proud of you. Our little brother. Tears spring to my eyes, but I wipe them away, wanting to be strong. That night I go for my last bowl of Ichiraku's with one of my most precious people. Next day, Naruto, after going through his last day at the academy, feels his stomach drop as he walks through the town, knowing that it could very well be the last time he saw home. Kit, stop fretting. You know I won't let you die. I bet that within a year things will smooth over and you'll be able to come back. Speaking of which, a magic square rock is at your 6, Kurama states, amused. Saru, rocks aren't square. Naruto states as Konohamaru, whom Naruto calls Saru, jumps out. You always catch me, Ni-san. The 4-year-old jumps excitably from foot to foot. Ni-san, let's play ninja. Alright, Naruto is about to decline in order to continue his solemn walk, but thinks better of it. Alright, sure, my foolish little brother, Naruto teases as he pulls an Itachi. After meeting Konohamaru a year ago while Naruto stayed in the Sarutobi compound after a vicious beating, Naruto promised himself to always protect his little brother figure and help him in his dreams. The two run off to the academy training grounds, intent on having a blast. Hey Ni-san, Saru says after hours of playtime, you know how you always say to have a dream and to strive to protect the village? I nod, wondering where this is headed. Well, I finally have a dream. I want to be Hokage. That way I can protect everyone and have everyone know who I am, not who my grandpa is. Saru's eyes burned with passion, and Naruto couldn't help but feel he wouldn't mind following his little brother into battle one day. Ruffling Saru's hair, Naruto smiles, a gentle real one, not the mask fake ones most people see. That's an admirable goal, Saru. I can see myself following you one day, if your will of fire burns as bright as I see it now. With that, Naruto brushes off his orange sweatpants and heads to his apartment for the final hours, leaving Konohamaru to look at him in admiration before an Anbu escorts him home. Little did Konohamaru and the Anbu know that Naruto had put a delayed seal on his neck after ruffling his hair. It would be released 3 days from now, containing Naruto's last words to his precious little brother. Present, heading towards Itachi and Shisui. I can only hope one day you can see I did this for the right reasons, little brother. These thoughts plague Naruto as he approaches 2 familiar chakra signatures. As he gets closer, he sees the grim visages of the reason he is doing this. I won't let your hearts go down a dark road, he promises himself. Naruto, you ready? Shisui's prompting causes the kunai of reality to sink in. I gulp down my apprehensions and nod. Over the next 30 minutes, Shisui goes over everything in my bag I was to take, from all the scrolls, sealed in one bigger scroll of course, to the bingo book and gear to clothes and a month's worth of ration bars. Itachi through all of this stays silent, but I can tell through his whitening knuckles he is fighting to keep calm. Finally it was time to leave. I changed out of my old clothes, giving them to a clone to take them inside the land of stone before dispelling, which will no doubt lead to Sarutobi believing I died or was taken. Ni-sans. The word hitches in my throat, but I fight to continue evenly, like a proud shinobi. In a month I will teleport my status and will check about once every 3 months after that unless I find something interesting. Both nod with proud looks in my eyes. So while I'm gone, kick some Uchiha elder ass and keep Konohamaru safe. Please, I trail off at the last part and both nod, promising to protect him to the best of their ability. Little brother, kick some ass out there, alright? Shisui jokes and fist bumps me, solidifying our bond. Little brother, until next time, I will keep Konohamaru-kun safe for you, and with that and an affectionate poke on the head I take a step back from the 2 most influential people in my life. Turning around, I hold up a thumbs up and with a quick flash I'm gone. The only thing marking I was ever there was the kunai and 2 heartbroken teens. Looking at each other, the 2 Uchihas set off to prepare for the backlash and bumpy ride the next few years were sure to bring. Just outside wave, flashing that far for the first time makes me dizzy, and while my stomach settles I sit down, knowing that a boat to take me into the country wouldn't be there until mid-afternoon, almost 12 hours. Taking in my new outfit, I can't help but feel childlike glee at what I am about to do. My new outfit consists of black Anbu-style pants taped to the ankles with matching shoes. A black sleeveless shirt with an under-mesh shirt comes next, with arm guards. A gray and black hooded short-sleeved jacket with an embroidered fox and the kanji, Kitsune, on the back. Finally a black face mask, think Kakashi, covers his whiskered face, completing his new life as the guardian Kitsune, Konoha's hidden protector. 2 weeks after leaving, I knew getting away and starting a new life would be relatively easy simply because of my kunai, but this was ridicules. Not once have I been questioned besides the odd, Kitsune, eh? Weird name. Civilians really need to be less trusting. After traveling to Wave I heard about Ushio, the hidden Whirlpool village, said to have been the home of my Uzumaki clan's roots. The locals warned me against going, saying the 3-day walk and 2-day boat ride through the rapids was suicide. Luckily I scoffed at their warnings, left a kunai in a very secluded spot in the surrounding forest, and took off. Now, after asking, bribing, threatening, I managed to secure a boat and am currently standing on the threshold of my ancestors' home, the boatman quickly leaving. After muttering about, damn midget kitsunes, always so demanding, I grow a tick on my forehead, not that he sees due to my hood. Saru. His Ni-san's letter. Heart skipping a beat, Konohamaru rips the envelope open, eyes soaking in every word. Saru. This is your amazing older brother speaking. First, I'm sorry. I wish I could stay with you and watch you grow up, but I can't. Factions are rising in the Leaf Village and it all centers around me. See, what you know of the Kyuubi attack is wrong. Skip the explanation since everyone knows it. Now little brother, I understand you're scared. But I need you to be strong. Know that I am always looking out for you. I hope to return someday, hopefully before you graduate and become a ninja. Know this. You cannot tell anyone about my letter. My mission to you is to not only keep this letter hidden but to learn everything you can from Shisui and Itachi. One of them will contact you soon and offer training since I am gone. Take it, and if you ever want to send me a letter, give it to Shisui, discreetly please, and I will get it. Be strong. Grow into a fine shinobi. Your brother, Naruto. P.S. Channel some chakra into this seal. And it is 2 special kunai. The regular looking one has a special storage seal for you. To store your letters. Please use this, and ask Shisui if you have any questions. The second you must keep hidden on you at all times. It has my special teleportation seal you have seen me use. If you are ever in trouble, throw it and I will be there. In a flash. I am proud of you. That letter caused Konohamaru to study like never before, intent on helping make his Nissan come home. And with that, Konohamaru claps his hands together and runs off to meet his new sensei, vowing to become so strong that he can stop the ones forcing Nissan to leave. Hand on the special kunai hidden in his pouch. Konohamaru can't help but think that things will somehow work out. Back with Naruto in the present. That letter caused Konohamaru to study like never before, intent on helping make his Nissan come home. And with that, Konohamaru claps his hands together and runs off to meet his new sensei, vowing to become so strong that he can stop the ones forcing Nissan to leave. Hand on the special kunai hidden in his pouch. Konohamaru can't help but think that things will somehow work out. Back with Naruto in the present. Ushio was truly magnificent. Vast Uzumaki spirals adorned every building, the seals keeping the village from falling to complete ruin. Towers overlooked the ocean and the streets had carvings of complex fuinjutsu I had never even seen. Looking at the sun setting, I feel a tug towards the tallest tower to watch the colors bleed into night, much like the Hokage mountain. Hey, Kit, I remember this place. Kurama's voice rings out after being silent in respect for me visiting my family's roots. Really? I ask aloud since nobody else is around. Yes, Shrimp, really. Your mother came here about a year before you were born in order to see what was left of her childhood home with her own eyes. If I remember correctly, there is a vault at the top of that tower that can only be accessed with Uzumaki blood. Now go away and let me sleep, mere mortal. Oh, and don't die. There are lots of traps. I sweat drop at this but make my way through the abandoned hallways. After dodging traps even I had never thought of, but took note of for later, I stop at a circular door with a blood seal in the center. Wiping my now bloody palm on it, the door starts to glow, revealing nothing. The room was barren, the customary Uzumaki spiral engraved on the floor. It was ludicrous. I could hear Kurama snorting in my mind, thoroughly enjoying himself. Oi, overhyped stuffed animal, what gives? Kurama's growl let me know of his displeasure. Well, insignificant pipsqueak whose bones couldn't even pass as toothpicks, I would have told you what your mother saw when she went through this, but instead no. Your pain and blundering will be most satisfying. I can't wait to hear you scream like a girl. HMPH. I doubt that, I say as I walk through the empty chamber that didn't even have a dust bunny or cockroach to greet me. As I reach the spiral, I proclaim, I've been through worse whatever this stupid vault can throw, and with that the floor starts to glow and I drop to the floor in agony. The pain was worse than anything I've ever felt before. The searing of my insides made the time a chunin skinned me seem like a paper cut. My screams echoed into the night across the island, until it finally stopped. As the world fades I can hear Kurama's faint voice saying, I knew he'd scream like a girl. One day later. Oi, foolish Nijin who has now learned not to mock Kurama the great TM, it is time to face the music. Up, up, up. I bolt up off the floor in a scream, my sword already drawn for an attack. Realizing it's just the voice in my head I shake it off. Wait, Kurama the great TM? And what's with the trademark? I ask in disbelief. HMPH. I will not have some other, random Kurama claim my title. This way I get royalties off of any and all references to my greatness. To my shock he says this with a completely serious voice that just dares me to mock his aspirations of making millions. Using his name. Whatever, I say, and then notice the Uzumaki spiral engraved on my right arm. Hey, what in the name of all that proves ramen is God's gift to man gives? Since I tire of your stupidity and wish to start training, I'll give you a hint. Channel chakra through your fingertips into the spiral. Nodding in thanks I do so, and out pops hundreds of scrolls. My eyes grow to the size of ramen bowls and one eagerly begin going through. Each of the scrolls, Kurama discussing the training I was to do with him and the scrolls as I go. Hours upon hours later, cataloging took forever, but I finally went through each scroll and discovered that I could summon any single scroll I wanted through the summoning tattoo by thinking about which one I desired while channeling chakra. Overall, there was the complete Uzumaki Taijutsu, Kenjutsu, and Water Jutsu scrolls. There were 5 scrolls filled with gold coins, enough to buy a couple of small islands, and history and tactic, trap books by the Uzumakis. But the real jewel was the Fuinjutsu scrolls. There were scrolls that leveled all the way up to double master, meaning they were better than my father, the 4th Hokage. I knew I couldn't thank my ancestors enough. The last scroll was a letter, answering most of my questions. Dear future descendant, congratulations on being proven to be a main branch Uzumaki. The spiral in the middle only reacts to mainline Uzumakis and gives you access to the clan's riches. I write this as the battle wages on outside the door. I fear the Uzumaki guts to never give UPTM will not be able to save us this time. It is my dearest hope that Kushina's line will survive as she is in Konoha and comes to seek out their heritage. I pray the Uzumaki legacy lives on through you. So go forth and multiply. Show the world what it means to be an Uzumaki and dominate the ninja world. Signed, Kenobi Uzumaki. Another trademark? Seriously? I say the first thing that comes to mind, causing Kurama to preen. Finally somebody who understands. I swear by this time next week you will understand the power of trademarks. Now Kit, let's discuss how we plan to spend the next 18 months here. Wait, 18 months? What the tailed beasts, Kurama? We need to, at this Kurama cuts me off. Silence fleshbag. 18 months is necessary in order to get you up to snuff. By staying here that long I can properly train you in the Kitsune styles while you work on learning those Uzumaki Kenjutsu, traps, and sealing scrolls. I expect you to be a pre-master by the time we finish here. You may be able to take on a fair amount of Chunin, but I want you to be able to dominate squads of Jonin and Anbu before we leave here. Plus it will allow your trail to go cold and, if you work hard, I will allow you to sign the Fox summoning scroll at the end of the 18th month. At this Naruto perks up. He knew he needed this training period. With his legions of shadow clones he could fit in over a decade of study. In a year and a half. Nodding his head in accent he puts his hands in a familiar sign, summoning over 1,000 clones. As they split into groups Naruto couldn't help but feel giddy. Konoha, Shisui's room, time of first check-in. Konohamaru, Itachi, and Shisui stare intently at the letter Naruto sent them, memorizing every word. Naruto had figured out how to rig a transport seal to where he could send the letters into the closet without him, and they could give him any letters instantly as his seal was on his right wrist. Crouched together they couldn't help but facepalt at his introduction. Dear tiny insignificant brothers. He's been spending too much time with the Fleabag, Shisui muses. Oi, who's he calling insignificant? I'll show him insignificant when I become Hokage and call him back to the village only to do D ranks. For a year, both Uchihas wince in sympathy for their blonde brother. At Ushio, same time. Naruto feels a shiver run up his spine, causing him to mess up the seal he's working on. Why do I get the sudden urge to defect from Konoha for real all of the sudden? Back to Konoha. Continuing with the letter. Now, let me tell you guys first that I am fine. I won't tell you where for all of your safety, but I am in a secluded place to train for the next 18 months. I managed to secure a rather large sum of money and have attached a portion in a scroll. I want you to give it to the orphanage. They may have made my life hell, but I'll give up ramen before I let Konoha's future starve due to low funds. Also I have a gift for all of you. Attached is a necklace with the Uzumaki symbol of brotherhood. Wear it secretly to show that you are true friends with the Uzumakis. They provide a slight boost in sensing danger and I have put a Hiroshin seal on them. Just channel chakra into the center of the symbol and I will come. Finally, be safe. I heard some rumors of a shadowy group of high-class nuke nin causing trouble. The only clue as to who they are is that every member has a black cloak with red and white cloud. I will send another note soon, but you can send me anything at any time. Signed, Naruto the Great TM. At this they all sweat drop. A trademark? Really? Nobody does those. Both Uchihas silently agree with Konohamaru's assessment. They quickly put on the necklaces provided, but when they open the scroll with the money. Holy ramen bing day. That's enough money for 3S rank missions, Shisui sputters. Later with Naruto. I received the responses to my letter soon after I sent it. Itachi's was fancy monogrammed letter that read, HN, Itachi. Konohamaru, S was a rant about how he was going to make me do D ranks for a year once I got back and he was Hokage. I snort, I'd like to see him try. Just to make sure though I send a quick response back with a reminder of the pictures I had stashed away that I Would distribute along Konoha's streets if he even thought of going through such a threat. There, problem solved. Now Shisui's was interesting. Dear Shorty, congrats on being loaded and making it to safety. To get down to business, we stopped the coup, but with the clan being divided in two. One half, the half with old farts and Fugaku, wish to bide their time until you return and then resume with controlling the 9 tails with the Sharingan. The other half, led by me publicly and Itachi secretly, wish to move on and go back to being loyal Leaf citizens. We are trying to find a way to end the old fossil's reign, but it's tricky. Until then, stay strong, midget. Now, I can't believe you had the audacity to claim a trademark before me. I therefore revoke your trademark status and instead say, see you later. SHISUI the great TM. I sweat drop at this. Doesn't he know his trademark status doesn't rely on my status? Foolish Naijin, I say, as if an Uchiha deserves a trademark other than their original speech jutsu, HN. I stifle a snort and continue training. Konoha, Sarutobi's office. It has been over a month and Sarutobi keeps sending out search parties for his favorite blonde, having unsuccess. With Danzo the not-so-great TM. Danzo was frustrated. Not only were his plans to cause the Uchihas to die out to get their eyes ruined, but the Jinchuriku was missing off the face of the earth. If he was a less dignified man he would sigh. However, instead he resorted to watching his tools beat the ration bars out of each other. Danzo, despite opinion, was a glass-half-full kind of warhawk. If one plan failed he would twist that failure into something that benefited him, and Konoha, of course. Get me squads 1 through 12. If he just so happened to find the Jinchuriku first, then all the better for him, and Konoha. As he briefed the squads on their possibly long-term retrieval mission, one tool, unknown to him, was not as pristine as he liked, not as emotionless as the others. Sai, after losing his brother, had a long crack, ready to make the perfect tool he was shatter. All he needed was one more nail in the kunai. Somewhere in T country, Ren Uzumaki was running. After spending the last year and a half in that snake's hell hole she was finally free. That sick pedophile turned her into a hodgepodge of DNA, but she was free. The moonless night fueled her escape as memories rushed to her. Flashback. No father. Please no. Don't leave me. Ren Uzumaki, 5 years old, had just lost her father, Kenji Uzumaki. The two were on a simple assassination mission in the land of birds when Orochimaru, snake pedophile Sannin, appeared and stabbed her father through the heart. She didn't want to leave him, even if it was just his body. That was her mistake. Before she could leave, a chop to the neck seals her fate as an experiment for the next year and some months. Flashback end. That day ruined her, but Ren was a proud side branch member of the Uzumaki, the branch that dealt with assassination and infiltration. She wouldn't sit back and cry about her past, but make use of what Orochimaru forced upon her to end him. Oh, the irony. She was looking forward to it. Reaching a cliff, Ren doesn't stop, doesn't think. She jumps, and spreads her wings wide, soaring up into the night air. Her instincts as an Uzumaki pulls her to Ushio, towards where her ancestors served and lived. Gliding there, Ren allows all that Orochimaru did come to light. Her fox ears, tail, and bird wings. These she promises to use to never give up, and find her lost clansmen, and then kick Orochimaru's tongue back to the clan wars. Later, Ren would realize that the forest calling to her below spoke of the last experiment Orochimaru did, the reason he thought she was dead, and thus left her room unguarded and unlocked, allowing her escape. Ren was the second Mokuten child. 2 days later, Ren was confused. Her instincts told her to bank right, when Ushio was clearly left. After ignoring the pull for an hour she finally relents. And boy is she glad she did. Are those foxes with swords? 18 months later, I was pumped. Finally I was going to summon, and the first ranked fox I summoned was supposed to be my familiar. Pouring a ramen buffet worth of chakra, a large puff of smoke appears, revealing a girl? I was pumped. Finally I was going to summon, and the first ranked fox I summoned was supposed to be my familiar. Pouring a ramen buffet worth of chakra, a large puff of smoke appears, revealing a girl? There have been many times in my life when he was speechless. Be it whether when I figured out about Kurama, my family, or even when my apartment was burned down. All those times caused my mind to shut off to process. But this takes the cake. A girl with hip-length tomato red hair and violet eyes stare back at me with an annoyed expression. Her clothes were sort of weird, with a blue tunic top, black taped pants, and a weird blue and white jacket and scarf, each saying, Lieutenant. Her fox ears twitch to show her anger and her tail swish in the wind. But what really gets me are her wings, stretching out from her back. What in the name of ramen is going on here? I thought I signed the fox summoning contract. I start ranting. Kit, I wouldn't. I didn't sign the contract for little kids playing dress up with the transformation jutsu. I continue without listening to Kurama. That hair makes her an Uzu. I'm not a little kid, I'm 9 just like you. She's a lieutenant based on her scarf, a lieutenant of the assass. Oh, so you're a bigger shrimp than I am. You look like a chibi 4-year-old. At that I am cut off by the sheer ki rolling off of her and am thrown at least 100 yards back by a punch. I sweat bullets as she cracks her knuckles again. Let's get this straight, human. I am Ren Uzumaki, lieutenant of the assassination and infiltration squad of the Fox clan. I am the most feared assassin in the summoning world. I used to be human, but due to a certain snake I share more DNA with foxes and birds than humans, and I was inducted as a full member of the clan almost 16 months ago, making legally a fox summons. Is that clear, pretty boy? I nod with a passion as my brain catches on. Wait, Uzumaki? Wait, you said you are an Uzumaki? Yeah, what's it to you, blondie? Her posture to a more cautious approach, ready for battle at a moment's notice. Calm down, I would never hurt family, I say, smiling at the shocked expression she adopts. You're an Uzumaki too, she asks. I nod. What branch? Main one. I reply in surprise. Most Uzumakis our age wouldn't know even to ask that. My surprise is increased when she then attacks me in a hug. Finally I found a kinsman. I am Ren as you know, but I was born from the assassination side branch. I cannot believe I got summoned by a kinsman. By the time she finishes, tears fall down her face. From the look in her eyes as she wiped them away I can guess crying is something she hasn't done in a long time, possibly years. Well then, cousin, let's bond over ramen and fresh fish. Now I first want to know why you have animal features and how did you join the Fox clan? Well, she says, I joined the Fox clan about 18 months ago. Flashback. Are those foxes with swords? And multiple tails? Ren couldn't believe her eyes, instantly zipping down to the clearing below, the earliest signs of morning twilight illuminating the world. As she gets closer it becomes clear the foxes, numbering somewhere in the 20s, are in battle against at least 50 snakes. Ren never liked those who ganged up on others. She remembered the stories her father would tell about how the only way the Uzumakis were wiped out was through a combined force of 3 of the big 5 nations, outnumbering the Uzumakis at least 20-1. However, like the Uzumakis facing death's door, these foxes who were obviously a summons clan met the snake's head on valiantly, never flinching. Even the obviously new one, a white fox kit the size of a kitten in one tail fought 2 medium snakes without falter. Making a decision that would change the course history, Ren dives down right into the largest clump of snakes. Her instincts taking over, she grabs 2 swords from a downed fox at her feet, his 6 pearl white tails stained with blood. Surprised he's still breathing, she blocks a fang headed towards her new charge, beheading the snake with her other sword in the process. After that it was like a dance. An old legend passed down through women of Uzumaki blood told the redder the hair the more deadly in battle an Uzumaki woman would be, and that the blood of her enemies would help create an unstoppable and beautiful dance of death. And Ren's hair was the reddest in generations. Around the battlefield snakes are sliced and diced. The foxes cheer, joining in with new vigor, and soon Ren feels alive again. This is what she was born to do, to parry around the battlefield with the deadliest sword style out there, the Uzumaki assassin style, invented by her branch of the clan. With it 2 swords are combined with a dagger in the mouth to shred through whole platoons of those who dared to challenge an Uzumaki. Even without the dagger the formerly one-sided fight turns. Within 5 minutes all the snakes are dead, and the few injured foxes are being tended to by a newly arrived 5-tailed golden fox. Adrenaline gone, Ren plops onto the ground, not caring she just sat in the sea of blood. Thank you. Ren hears a male voice and turns to see an 8-tailed fox with midnight fur and numerous scars littered on his body. Standing over her, a blue and white scarf with the word, Captain, and the number 12 around his neck. What he does next shocks her. He bows, all tails flat on the ground in submission. Thank you for your aid. Without your help we could have lost everyone, and then the snakes would have taken over the town not too far from here. His voice, one that commands attention, causes everyone conscience to look over in shock, to see, most likely, their leader bowing to a human. A human that just tore through snakes like butter and has both fox and bird features, mind you, but still a human. It was nothing, Ren says, smiling. I had a bone to pick with snakes anyway. A certain snake caused me to look like this, gesturing to the ears, tail, and wings, and I haven't had a fun battle in almost 2 years. Realization dawns on all the foxes around me. Orochimaru, I presume, the same fox states more than asks. I nod. Well, Uzumakis and the Fox clan have always been intertwined, and the Fox clan held up the southern front in Uzu's final stand. She blinks, surprised. And quat. I didn't an appose. T know that. And quat. No, not many do. Like the Uzumakis, we of the Fox clan have been mostly forgotten by humans, a memory better left in the past to rot. Still, we are the most feared summoning clan. Each of our 12 divisions are feared throughout every clan, even those overhyped toads. And quat. Well, thank you for the history, and quat. Ren says, bowing. And quat. But I must get going, and quat. Captain Kitsune Ryu for short. And you don and appos. T have to leave. And quat. Captain Ryu says. And quat. I have a proposition for you. And quat. End flashback. And quat. And with that I joined Captain Ryu and Appos, S division of the Fox clan. About 2 months ago I was promoted to lieutenant. And quat. Ren finishes her tale, fingering her own scarf. A million thoughts and questions form in my head, and I want to interrogate her about the foxes, her origins, Orochimaru, and other random questions. Instead I smile. And quat. How would you like to go on an adventure, Ren? And quat. I receive a smile, telling me all I need. 1 week later, we jump through the trees, heading towards the center of the land of Bird. I had teleported us there a couple of hours ago after hearing a rumor that a C-class missing leaf ninja had set up shop in a slave trade center there. Ever since we left Ushio I had been placing his seals in discreet locations for future travels. I had finally mastered Hirishin and Appos, S final form 3 months ago. It was my greatest accomplishment, other than the fact that I finally reached the expert in quat, level in the Fuinjutsu scrolls. Looking over at Ren, I can and Appos, T help but be slightly jealous. She started at the pre-beginner scrolls last week and was already at the advanced beginner and quat, scrolls. That kind of progress was unheard of, even for an Uzumaki. She was a master at the Uzumaki taijutsu and assassination-style kenjutsu, could beat just about anyone with her poisons then fix them up good as new with her medical ninjutsu. I and Appos, LL admit I was jealous. Foolish fleshbag. Kurama the Great TM have said your progress is satisfactory. Yeah but still nothing. You are an expert level, bordering on pre-master ceiling. You are a master at wind and fire manipulation, and working on the second step of water manipulation. You can use 2 tails safely you can kill most jonin with your kenjutsu and taijutsu alone, and don and Appos. T get me started on those ramen damned chains of yours. I nod, knowing he and Appos, S right. Ren notices this and smirks. And quat. Hey ramen freak, talking to the teddy bear in your head? And quat. He is not a teddy bear. I am not a teddy bear. We both scream at the same time. Ren's smirk grows even wider and I can only sputter out. Well at least I don't look like I'm 5, to which Ren coolly replies. Yeah because looking like you're 7 is such an improvement. I facefault at this and am about to argue when Ren holds up her hand. We're here, she says quietly. Below us is a clearing filled with humans in shackles. The people, all dirty and hopeless looking don't even notice when the pig who enslaved them appears, his leaf headband scratched through and his beady black eyes searching the trees. Kensuke Matsumoto. It was the beginning of the day I finally grew up. It was the day I took a life. And he was staring right at me. Kensuke Matsumoto. It was the beginning of the day I finally grew up. It was the day I took a life. And he was staring right at me. Well, are we going down there? Ren asks after an awkward silence. Her Tori mask looks impassively at me but I can tell she's impatient. Figuring it was best to not keep someone so well versed in the religion of killing things with long sharp objects waiting, I nod. Before I can finish bobbing my head she's gone. 30 minutes later, Ren stands over the barely recognizable body of Kensuke, anger slowly dissipating. The plan was to lure him away from the prisoners and take him out before moving on to the dozen bandits he employed. However, flashback, I sighed, following Ren down, and land right in front of our target. Now I just had to taunt him into following me while Ren mows through the lowlifes he controls. I open my mouth to introduce myself and start the goading. According to his file he had lost his parents to the Kyuubi attack, so if I hinted at my identity and then killed him, well, psychological warfare were my favorite lessons with Itachi. In Konoha, Itachi sneezed, interrupting his favorite pastime, tormenting the elders of the Uchiha clan. Damn, Naruto must be thinking of me. Maybe I should put him in the ramen crisis genjutsu again. Hey, that will show him. Meanwhile the elder in front of him started sweating bullets at the manic glee manifesting itself on the most stoic Uchiha in existence. Oh the horrors he must be planning for him. All talk. I was the one who thought up the coup. Itachi blinked in confusion. I was just about to question your reasoning as to why you cut down on my Pocky budget. Back with Naruto. Just as my mouth is opening, Kensuke seals himself a fate worse than death by doing the one thing even the Kyuubi wouldn't do. He grabbed Ren's tail. Sue soft. Yes, you'll make an excellent addition. Kensuke didn't seem to notice Ren's killing intent focused solely on him. He's dead, I mused dryly. That man, his bravery will be forever remembered by I, Kurama the Great TM, for doing something I would never dare do. Don't touch my tail, Ren ground out. The walking dead man then further exasperated his deadman status by exclaiming, "So cute." That did it. Ren snapped. And the most one-sided battle over stupidness I had ever seen took place. I'm just going to go slaughter some bandits. Have fun, okay? I bolt away faster than the green caterpillar alien after he hears about youth being sold in a can. My only response from Ren is a primal roar of woman's fury. End flashback. My musings are broken when Ren looks up at me and smiles. Her mask tilted off to the side, with blood splattering her cheeks as she grins like a maniac is enough to unnerve Shisui-ni's friend Ibiki. Konoha? Ibiki is walking down the hallway after a particularly bothersome interrogation. The bastard tried to say they saw a kid who had Naruto's hair with a Kitsune mask on the ground, writing a complex seal while using high-level nature manipulation. Preposterous. The kid couldn't write straight. Yep, just another crazy. That's when he sneezed. I sense a disturbance in the force. A potential apprentice in unnervingness. Back with Naruto. The next morning we had helped ship all the people back to the surrounding towns to be reunited with their families. Sir, how can we thank you? Yes, who are you two? The questions keep coming and I hold out a hand to silence everyone. My name is Kitsune, Q snort from Ren, and this is Tori. Another snort, and I guess you can call us the Guardians. After they all left, Ren turns to me. One of these days you will realize I am more fox than you. And one of these days you will realize that I am less bird than you, super midget. At this she only sputters. Ah, being the boss of a vigilante group has its perks. Omake. Enter Itachi. Wrath of the Pocky. Part 1. A 4-year-old Naruto was hungry. The shops wouldn't sell him anything, he already ate through his Ichiraku budget, and the old man was too busy for lunch. Guess it's the garbage for me. Naruto mutters before bumping into someone. Sorry. Naruto says quickly. The person, who looked like an old man on a child's body, nods. His hand reaches for his kunai holster and Naruto tenses, ready to run. Slowly the boy's hand pulls out a stick? Naruto's mouth gapes open and the boy uses the opportunity to stick the stick in. Good, yes? I have allowed you to taste God's gift to man known as Pocky-sama. Maybe it was the fact that the kid just claimed his food was better than ramen. Maybe it was because Naruto really didn't like sweets. Either way, the 4-year-old made a grave mistake using his next words. PSH. This is gross. Ramen is a gazillion times better than that Pocky teme. By the boy's now spinning red eyes, it was a grave mistake indeed. Inside the seal a certain 9-tailed fox begins sweating, fearing those horrible eyes. Damn, doesn't the kid know to never insult an Uchiha's obsession? At this Kurama sends an impulse to run, praying his host wouldn't die that day. Konoha. Itachi and Shisui were in a bind. They had the perfect way to solve their problem of the elders, political assassination. They even had the perfect method to do it. An untraceable poison that works over time to give the target brain cancer that results in a death of natural causes. Heck, they even knew where to get this poison. Lady Doku, and translates to poison, according to the infallible Google Translate, in the land of bears. The problem was getting to her. Anbu missions there or any missions there were rare, and waiting possibly months stalking the mission halls for one would seem suspicious. Itachi was eating his Pocky without mentally worshipping it. Shisui hadn't made a sarcastic remark in 10 minutes. If only Naruto was here, they thought at the same time. Wait. They looked at each other with the classic Uchiha smirk. Number 3, in which I have come up the most amazing plan and you will bask in my greatness for it. Not to ever be confused with Uchiha smirk. Number 4, in which my greatness has surpassed even the greatness of Pocky. That looks almost the same. Say Itachi, don't we have a personal errand boy little brother out in the world? Why yes, and this errand boy foolish little brother hasn't gotten a letter from us in a few days. With Naruto and Ren, as we are scrolling through the bingo book for Ren's next plaything, a letter pops out of my wrist from my brothers. Opening it up, a vein pops out of my forehead. Dearest errand boy little brother, I need you and that chibi midget to go to Lady Doku. She's on the border of the land of bears, about 3 days from where you probably are. We need a certain poison. The details are enclosed in the scroll that came out for her eyes only, and have you send it back to us. We plan to use it to end our problem. Thanks again. Shisui the Magnificent TM. Foolish Little Brother and New Foolish Little Sister. HN number 27. Itachi. P.S. HN number 103. At Itachi's letter I sweat. Ren has fire in her eyes. Chibi midget? Foolish little sister? That's it, we are going to Konoha and I am kicking their pink eyes where the sun don't shine. Her ranting turns into incomprehensible mutterings and evil chuckles. We better get going, I sigh, picking up my bag. Why rush? Make him sweat, I say. My head whips over to her in horror. Did you not read Itachi's HN? Ren sweat drops. Why does a HN matter so much? At this I start rapidly ranting. All Uchihas are fluent in the tongue of HN, an accent of the smirk. Each one is so similar yet unique that they are numbered. Number 27 means, get it done now or else you will never see your obsession again. Obsession? All Uchihas have an obsession like no other. Itachi knees Pocky. His stupid little brother adores tomatoes. Shisui, well, he's obsessed with messing with people. Number 27 is not to be taken lightly. I can't lose my ramen. Okay. I'm afraid to ask, but what is 103? In a sagely voice I say, it's the limited edition Pocky flavor he wants that is apparently on sale for a limited time in the land of bears. Don't worry, I'll teach you the ways of HN and smirk. Only an Uchiha can speak it but anyone can understand it. Right, let's just go. Land of bears next day. Finally, we made it, just in time. I pant out between dry heaves as Ren collapses on the ground without restraint. Why, in ramen's name, did we rush here again? She barely makes out the words. Itachi's HN 103 spoke of the urgency for his Pocky. Why are you so scared of Itachi's Pocky obsession? At this I can only look at her with pity. After another 10 minutes of gasping like fish on the riverbank we struggle to our feet. Lady Doku's house, a giant tree with flowers growing over the bark, and a greenhouse off to the side is 100 feet in front of us. A sign hangs proudly that she is the exclusive supplier to all the daimyo's wives. Do noble ladies enjoy a game of political assassination or something? And why brag about that? Dragging our feet we reach the door and knock. Who dares knock on my door? A voice cackles out and I narrowly dodge a senbon shooting out from the peephole. Please, Lady Doku, I have a letter. Doesn't matter, I refuse to cover any orders. I'm retired and, from Itachi and Shisui, I finish. At that the door flies open and I am pulled inside, Ren following close behind. Oh, how are my favorite customers? Are they here for another replacement? Did the last one get fireballed or electrocuted? She opens the letter and immediately smirks. Oh, I see. Seems they want to poison the sucker, perhaps the replacement I gave them a couple of years ago is too rowdy? My confused face mirrors Ren's. The old woman, wild black hair and a forest green kimono adorning her squat form, doesn't seem to notice and keeps ranting as she fills our order. I mean honestly, my babies are so well behaved considering they are half cat demon. Why do the noble ladies keep buying them and then having the poor genin assassinate them before ordering a replacement? I can't tell you how many Toras I have sold to your daimyo's wife. At this I butt in. You mean the demon cat of the leaf Tora? The bane of all genin, Tora? You're the one that breeds these little monsters? At this Lady Doku grins manically and nods. Ren looks at me in confusion, so I elaborate. Tora is a cat, a very loose definition of one, but still that has been the cause of every genin's worst nightmares. It is said that the terrors from having to catch that cat are worse than the ones brought from your first kill. The cat is known to be vicious in the field. Ren nods slowly, and then an idea seems to pop up, causing a look to spread across her face, a look more terrifying than when she finished with Kensuke. Say, Lady Doku, I was wondering if I could purchase one of your babies? I enjoy a good bloodshed. At this I snort at the understatement. And Ren shoots me a glare, so a partner that shares my interests would be perfect. Lady Doku looks at Ren with stars in her eyes. Yes, my new protege. I'll give you the meanest, most bloodthirsty monster I have. And I'll throw in my book on all the poisons of the world and how to use them to kill, maim, or worse. The two share identical expressions and I fear a great evil has befallen the world. With Danzo was unnerved. Never have his route failed so terribly. And quat, report, and quat, he said tiredly. And quat, Danzo-sama, we have been unable to pick up any actual trail of the container. Squad 12 is currently searching through the land of bears and Squad 4 is joining them soon. We have heard of 2 children, one of whom was confirmed to have the container, and Appo's hair color and age range, are heading there after saving a group of civilians from the missing Nin Kensuke Matsumoto. If our sources are correct, then the container and Appo's next destination is Lady Doku. And quat, the she-devil that sells those demonic cats, and quat, Danzo muses. He knew it was a long shot that it was his, Konoha and Appo's wayward weapon. Once he captured the boy, he would ensure his loyalty, even if he needed to wipe his mind. Oh yes, he would have his weapon, all in the name of Konoha. And quat, dismissed, and quat, he says, and the emotionless agent quickly leaves, finding himself feeling something he hadn't in Appo's in a long time when he looked at his master and Appo's manically smiling face. Was it fear? No, more like absolute terror. With Naruto and Ren, I watch in slight fear as Ren passes through the cages of cats, ignoring all the sane-looking ones, until she comes across a black-haired kitten with white paws and red eyes. The kitten looked barely 10 weeks old, but it had on it chakra suppression seals and manacles 6 inches thick. By the look of adoration from Ren, she found her soulmate. What terrified him more though, was that the look was mirrored on the kitten. Naruto. Oh boy, it was serious when Kurama called me by name. Summon Ryu. He's the only one to talk any sense into her. He's the oldest fox besides the 2 elders and I. Whipping through the hand signs, I call out, summoning jutsu, and Ryu pops out, looking like he had just woken from a nap. Hey Ryu, I say, snapping him from his stupor. I second. He calls, wide-eyed and whipping his head around, his captain's scarf showing signs of drool. Noticing me, he relaxes. Naruto. Thank Nacho Rabbits, that meeting was so dreadful. Where's the battle? Or perhaps a spar? I shake my head, amused. No Ryu, I didn't call you for battle. At this, Ryu's head drops. I called you here about your lieutenant. See, she found a kinder spirit. At this, Ryu whips his head around, spotting Ren and Angel snuggling together while looking through the poison book on the or worse section. This isn't good. That's the 3rd cat in as many months. He mutters. At my expression, he elaborates. See, Ren is obsessed with cats. Like, Uchiha obsessed. Problem is whenever she finds a cat, she ends up killing it accidentally because it can't keep up with her. At least it will be dead in a couple of days. Only one of Lady Doku's demonic cats could survive, and nobody would ever be stupid enough to take her to Lady Doku. I start sweating, backing away from Ryu. He notices this and stiffens. You didn't, right, Naruto? Tell me you didn't. At my nod, he groans. As long as it isn't a dark Neko, I can have it quietly disposed of. Dark Nekos are immortal, and even Lady Doku wouldn't be crazy enough to let her create a covenant bond with one of them. I sweat even more and point to Ren, who had just finished signing such covenant with the cat, Lady Doku patting them both on the ears. We're screwed, aren't we? On so many levels. Flashback. If you'll excuse me, I need to go cry in the captain's den. Wait, can't you just order her to not take the cat? I say with hope. At Ryu's horrified expression, my hope dies. Kit, telling a weak woman to do something is stupid. Telling a strong woman to do something is suicide. Telling an Uzumaki woman to do anything, well, let's just say reviving the Jubi is less suicidal. And with that, Ryu ditches me. Naruto, look at the new member of the Guardians. Naruto, meet Angel, the most sweetest, kindest, most bloodthirsty cuddly killer ever. Ren holds up the definition of an oxymoron, and I could swear the cat was smirking at me. Don't you love her? The way she said it though sounded ominously like it echoed back, you will love her or die. So I do what any man would do. I nod and say, yes of course. Angel is perfect. Ren's beaming and the cat's smirk made even Kurama pale. 2 hours later, oh my sweet protege. Be safe and have fun on the, or worse, section of the book. But don't forget to branch out in your poisons. Somebody might want to help you test out your maim, or death sections, and even though those poisons are not as fun, remember that the victim is always right. Ren shouts in unison with Lady Doku as Angel purrs in agreement. I nervously take the poison for Shisui and back away. Oh Naru-chan, don't run off without a kiss from Auntie Doku. And I can send you with some beginner poisons to become immune to. At this, I grab Ren and teleport us to a clearing 10 minutes away. Ren plops down with her poison and seals books while start writing a letter. Wait, both books? Ren, why do you have both books with Sai? There he was, Sai's target. He had failed the search and capture mission many times since it began almost 2 years ago, but today would be different. Today Sai and his squad would take the Kyuubi vessel in and make Danzo proud. Maybe then Sai wouldn't feel so conflicted with his emotions he wasn't supposed to have. Dark emotions. Sai wanted nothing more than to end Danzo's life, but he was a tool. A mindless drone who wasn't supposed to feel anything. But he did. Sai was mad at Danzo, wanted him dead for Shin. And he was jealous, he supposed, of the Kyuubi container, down there in the clearing, so free and emotional. But those thoughts had to be pushed away. Nothing but the mission mattered. The captains of his squad and Squad 4 gave the signal. In Position. Move quick with the suppression seals and sedatives. Sai nodded like a good drone and jumped towards his target with 9. Others, heart strangely remorseful for what he was about to do. But with a blank mask on, his fellow drones never noticed. Nor did they notice when he suddenly grabbed a branch. Sai didn't know why, but he observed rather than fought. It probably saved his life. With Naruto, I jump away just as a blank-masked Anbu most likely root tries to slap a high-grade chakra suppression seal on me, my hands already going through seals. Fire style. Phoenix flower jutsu. I call out and 2 of the drones fall, dead. Looking for more enemies, I sweat drop as Ren has decapitated 5 and Angel has turned in the size of a horse, eating 2 at the same time. Both look so nonchalant about it. You always take my fun, I whine. Ren just rolls her eyes and ignores me. Come out. I know you're there, Ren calls to the trees, and a kid barely older than us lands a few paces from me, a paintbrush and scroll in his hand. I am sorry, but Danzo-sama needs you. Please come peacefully and we won't have any trouble. I notice the way he says Danzo's name. It's filled with unhidden hatred and venom. Ren notices it too and frowns. Hey, I may be wrong, Pasty, but you don't seem to like this Danzo guy. Why follow him? Ren asks, and looks at me meaningfully. I get it. Then, she wants to help him. At least we know she isn't a complete psycho. Yeah, I say, picking up the hint, why not join us instead? Being a drone isn't fun, and you won't have to follow a maniac anymore. Until Ren reaches puberty, that is, I add mentally. The kid seems to hesitate, like he really wants to. But then his resolve hardens. I am sorry, but I cannot. Danzo has us on tight leashes. It is my fate to serve him until death, as it is yours to hold the Kyuubi. At this, I frown. A tight leash? Unless, crap, he has the curse seal. Before I can inform him that I can take it off, the guy lunges with a tanto. We exchange blades, mere flashes in the fading sun. Each time we broke apart, my clones would send out jutsu, while he sent ink. Creatures that bypassed the fakes and headed straight towards me. An upper slice followed by a parry. A lunge and then propelling back. Towards the trees. 10 minutes of our dance and I find myself enjoying the challenge. But it needed to end. Both of us trying to maim, not kill, held us back, and the final clash of blades here would prove who was better. The guy's tanto pushes me down, and ink critters scurry over my limbs before dispersing into vines. A little help here, Ren, would be nice. Ren snorts from her place, perched on Angel. But I thought that I ruined your fun? She replies, clearly amused. I take it back. You can have fun, okay? Now please, help. I scream the last part as the guy pulls out another suppression seal. Before he can stick it on, he falls forward, Ren looking smug over him. Now, Ren says, perching over my still bound form, how about we take off Pasty's seal? Several hours later, with Sai. Sai slowly stirs, his head and tongue on fire. Blinking awake, he finds himself in a cave with his target and the she-devil, grinning at him. Welcome back, Pasty, the she-devil says. But I tried to capture you. Sai struggles out, not understanding the blonde one's words. PSH, that's all in the past, he says. You can't go back home because of Danzo Teme, and going at it alone would be suicide. Beside, if you come with us, you can help protect the leaf from the outside. So, what do you say? Sai, in a moment of boldness, nods. I will join you, Naruto-sama. Drop the sama stuff. I'm not your master. My name's Naruto, and this is Angel. He points to the now tiny black kitten he could swear was smirking, and the psycho midget over there is Ren. Said, psycho midget, glared and then smiled. Nice to meet you, Pasty. At this, Sai is confused. He had read that friends often give nicknames to each other to show endearment. Was he a friend? If so, he must give an appropriate nickname to match. Putting on his best, fake smile, Sai replies. I am Sai. It is nice to meet you, dickless, pacifist, and beautiful. At this, Naruto rages. Angel grows in size to accommodate her new meal, and Ren blushes. I think we will be best of friends, Ren proclaims. Though we have to work on your insults. I mean, dickless and pacifist? Try to be more original. Poor Sai was so confused. He thought nicknames were supposed to be the opposite of a character trait the one giving them saw. Sai was about to correct his new friend, but something stopped him. A latent instinct for survival prevented him from correcting her and just nodded along. He would figure this instinct out later, he vowed. Danzo. Danzo couldn't believe it. Every single one of his agent's curse marks disappeared from his scroll signifying death. The last one to go, the defiant child Sai, flickered out long after the others. That one he had been planning to exterminate after the mission anyway. Well, at least there aren't any loose ends. He muses. Konoha? Shisui and Itachi were pleased with the speed Naruto and Ren got the poison. Naruto's letter had a string of curses and empty threats they ignored, and Itachi sat blissfully with his Pocky. That is until Shisui showed him his new little sister's letter. Dear soon-to-be-dead Ni-sans, HN 46. HN 24-45. HN 12. HN 1903. With love, Ren Uzumaki, Angel P. S. Smirk 32 both paled. The picture attached of Ren and Angel sporting perfect Uchiha smirk number 4s only made things worse. Itachi, I'm never making those two mad. Ever. Little sister Sama is scary. HN. Agreed. Sister Sama should not be messed with. Omake. Wrath of the Pocky Part 2. Naruto ran. The crazy kid with the spinning red eyes was worse than the snake lady with her dango. He even had a pin saying, Pocky is life, and another saying, death to the non-believers. No, Naruto was not making it out alive. Jumping over carts and people in the marketplace and ducking into an alley seemed smart. Until the kid locates him, muttering about how Pocky haters emit a disgusting odor. Preparing for the worst, he closes his eyes, and after a quick chop the world goes black. 2 hours later, blinking awake, Naruto sighs in relief as he finds himself in Gigi's office on the couch. That is until he sees the crazy kid staring at him from the other couch. It seems you're both awake. Care to explain why you were terrorizing young Naruto, Itachi? Naruto relaxes at his Gigi's voice. At least he wasn't alone with the psycho. HN. This one mocked my obsession. By clan guidelines I am obligated to end him, the newly named Itachi says in monotone. Naruto pales slightly. Itachi, I cannot let you end Naruto's existence. He is rather important to me. At this Itachi's face falls. His first obsession cleansing in. He would fail. However, if you were to, say, teach Naruto some of your skills, you could discuss the meaning of Pocky, how Pocky is better than anything. You know, defend your obsession and maybe get a follower? Itachi thinks for a moment before deciding. Yes, Lord Hokage. I shall teach Naruto-kun to be the best Pocky-praising ninja of the elemental nations. Itachi's gleam would haunt Naruto for years to come. Ignoring Naruto's protests, Hiruzen Sarutobi smirks at his successful plan. Naruto gets a teacher, older brother, Itachi gets to preach to. Someone about his Pocky-sama, and Hiruzen. Well, if it all worked out, then Naruto would have a less expensive food obsession. If only he knew how futile that last one was. Konoha Academy, 2 weeks after Naruto left. Hinata was bored. Ever since her obsession went away, she didn't have anyone to project her stalker fantasies on, and sorry for Hinata. Lovers, but I honestly don't like her that much. And honestly, why do people like her stalkerish tendencies? She could no longer blush at Naruto's antics during his pranks or watch him train in his apartment through the walls from her hiding spot across the street. Yes, Hinata's one and only hobby had left her to dry. And she hated him for it. Oh, she tried to tell herself he would come back one day, as Iruka-sensei kept telling them, but it didn't matter. Looking in the mirror in the bathroom, Hinata slings her orange, in Naruto's honor, backpack onto the floor. Dumping it out, she throws away all of her memorabilia. The hair locks from his comb, his extra jacket she took from his closet after he left. She even threw away her portable shrine and photo album. Oh yes, Hinata was finished with Naruto Uzumaki and vowed to instead become stronger on her own. She didn't need a man. She was a strong independent woman, or whatever she heard the maid say after she dumped her boyfriend and threw him over the clan walls. After class, Hinata walked around Konoha, intent on seeing what exactly a strong, independent woman was. Perhaps in another universe, Hinata would have met Kurenai Yuhi, but the Genjutsu mistress was away on a search team for Naruto. Instead, the young Hyuga ran into the definition of strong, independent, and a woman, Anko Mitarashi on her daily dango binge. Ibiki, same time. I feel a disturbance in Konoha's crazy meter. As long as someone doesn't ask to be Anko's apprentice, it should be fine. Back with Hinata. Excuse me miss, Hinata calls. I would like to be your apprentice on how to be independent. Anko looks up from her dango and smirks. Finally someone saw her greatness. People quickly gave a wide berth as the snake mistresses. Manic chuckle rung out. Konohamaru, 6 months after Naruto leaves, first day of the academy. 5-year-old Konohamaru was walking into the academy extremely nervous. He was starting early and couldn't help but feel he wasn't good enough. All the other kids were bigger, stronger, and meaner. Konohamaru almost backed away. His grandpa didn't want him to start early, anyway, he reasoned. What's another year or two? Sticking his hand over his necklace, he starts inching back. But then a voice whispers seemingly in the wind his Ni-san's words, protect Konoha. Become a Hokage. I would be proud to follow into battle. How could he be a Hokage? His Ni-san would be proud to follow if he was a coward. No, Hokages are strong, fearless, and never back down. With new determination, Konohamaru marches into the school with a battle face that would make Uchiha Madara proud. Up in the tree, two Uchihas high five. Was the voice in the wind really necessary? Shisui, Itachi asks as he pops another stick of Pocky. Shisui sniggers. Of course. Now he's so confident that he'll walk in, make a fool of himself, get knocked down a peg after gaining a huge ego from working with us, and then learn to appreciate. A sneeze rings among all the Naruto clones and the original. I feel I just got thanked or blamed for something Shisui did. He better not be causing pranks and blaming it on my ghost like Itachi caught him doing. 1 month later. So what now? I asked during a quiet dinner somewhere in the land of water. Sai was busy drawing and Ren was practicing putting nerve gas in a seal on her favorite bracelet that would release when she punched something. We gave the poison to Itachi and he said it will take about 2 years for the poison to cause death by natural causes to most of the Uchiha Council. The last month Ren and Angel have basically taken out all our targets. At this both Sai and I send glares to Ren and Angel, who shoot back identical annoyed expressions. What? It's not our fault you guys are too slow to get in on the action. And we always let you guys take out the bandits or save the people. We're just more skilled. Ren huffs, her ears and tail flickering in annoyance. At this even Sai's eye twitches. Over the last month, his emotions have slowly resurfaced but he still didn't understand all the social Ks. And thus, he blurts out. Bloodthirsty rampages don't equal skill. In response he has to dodge several phoenix fire flowers. Crap. How did she convince me to teach her fire manipulation and jutsu? I shout while jumping over a stray ball of fire. I believe, dickless, that you fell victim to her most effective, puppy dog-eye jutsu, Sai replies while continuing his escape. Finally, having enough I jump between Sai and Ren who had now pulled out her new favorite poison and grabbed her hands to prevent any more damage. Now, I think I have a solution to our problem. At this Ren looks confused and Sai had gone back to emotionless. Well, Konoha wasn't built in a day. Now, all of us know about the Mist Rebellion going on, right? Both nod. And Ren, you love battling, right? Q. Both Ren and Angel's vigorous nods. I chuckle. However, we are a team and both yes. Please Naruto. I blink owlishly at Ren's response, trying to remember the last time she used my name. I remember it involved a new medicine she wanted me to try and after that, never use my name. I shudder, too many bad memories, and blanks in my memories. My fears are heightened at her all too innocent expression. Sure thing, ramen freak. 1 week later, Mist Rebellion Camp. It had been a hellish week. After finding the camp using the tracking squad of the Fox clan whose captain was now best friends with Angel. Much to Ren's happiness and the squad's horror when Ren agreed to let Angel do certain missions with them, we had to sit through days of interrogations to prove we weren't spies for Yagura. Unfortunately, that meant the leader, Mei Terumi, now knew our real names and what we looked like, and not our aliases. While this was troubling for us, Mei swore to never reveal our identities if we stayed to help end the civil war. What made the week truly hellish, though, was Ren's now refusal to speak with Sai, after he blabbed how he chose nicknames. Flashback, meeting Mei. After traveling for 2 days on the trail and going through the camp guards, we were finally allowed an audience with Mei, the supposed leader of the rebels. Walking into a tent, all 4 of us bow in respect, even Angel, who was currently the size of a large dog. Greetings, Mei-sama, we have come to assist in the rebellion to end Yagura's reign of terror. My name is Kitsune and my companions. Here are Tori, Ren, FYI, kimono, Sai, means, beast, and the mask is all black but with white around the eyeholes, and Angel. We are an up-and-coming bounty hunting group called, the Guardians, I say in the most formal manner I can. Only to receive a laugh from Mei, her long blue hair shaking slightly. Oh, there's no need to. You think I'm ugly, little boy, she grinds out. Sai quickly shakes his head. And no. You see, a book I have says to give fond nicknames to new friends and comrades by calling them the opposite of one of their defining traits. So for example, Kitsune Taicho is called dickless because I find him brave, while Tori is called beautiful because I find her visually ugly even though on the inside. At this he wisely trails off as Ren's hair starts swirling around her in fury. Instead of attacking him though, she just storms out of the tent with tears dripping out of her mask, missing his final word. Truly beautiful. Well, I'm delighted you find me the pinnacle of womanly beauty. Mei says after a moment, cheerful. After some interrogations we can talk prices. Walking out with some guards, Angel hisses at Sai once before going off to find Ren. Was it something I said? I just find red hair reminds me too much of blood, Sai asks, confused. I only sigh and sweat drop. End flashback. Well, my cute little guardians. I have 2 missions for you, so you'll need to split into 2 groups. I don't care who goes with which. At Mei's words, Ren huffs and jumps on Angel's back, settling the matter. Mei nods in approval. Okay, so based on your skills assessments and the grouping I am having Tori and Angel hunt down my old flame eye. Mean the former demon of the mist, Zabuza Momichi. He's currently in somewhere in the land of rock on some job. After you find him, convince him to join our cause and then use the seal Kitsune set up to let me know. I'll send you a new mission or orders to return then. Ren nods and grabs the scroll Mei holds out meant for and quat. Now, I know you can and appose. T used the Hiroshin on the battlefield more than 10 times before getting sick, but we still have at least a year before the final charge takes place. Can I count on you to have it down by then? And quat. Seeing my nod and embarrassment she continues. When I had tested the Hiroshin I found I could only use it 10 or 11 times in succession before I started becoming dizzy, a dangerous position on the battlefield. And quat. Good, now while you sort out your magic seals I want you and Kimono to capture us some supplies and take out a target. You see, there in Appos. A heavily guarded trade route under Yagura and Appos. Thumb about 30 miles west. A tyrant named Gato, a multi-billionaire, will be traveling through that route with a caravan filled with weapons, food, clothes, you name it. Anyway, besides just stealing the caravan supplies and storage scrolls one need you to take out Gato. He and Appos. One of humanity and Appos. Lowest scum and quat. Northern part of Land of Rock. A tan, red, and black blob fly high over the barren landscape after leaving the rebel camp a week ago, and anyone below would be oblivious to the heated conversation taking place between the apparent bird and the black blob on its back. And quat. I just on an Appos. T get it, Angel. He and Appos. Yeah, humans are stupid. We don't need them, you only need me. Hey, isn't that Zabuza below? And look, he has some toys for us. Angel purrs the last part, pointing to a man matching Zabuza's description and a shorter accomplice surrounded by 5. Hunter Nin from Yagura. Yagura's trade route, same time. Stupid mist, stupid caravan being 2 days behind. I grumble after not sleeping for the past day due to needing to be vigilant and the constant dampness from the mist. Kurama grumbles in my mind, muttering about being a wimp. Taicho. Sai calls out next to me timid. I turn my mask to him and give a go-ahead motion. How does one compliment a girl? I mean, I assume Ren is at least partly a girl after observing her in the hot springs once to confirm, but my attempts at compliments are not achieving the desired results, he admits sheepishly. I look at him, shocked, not knowing how to proceed after hearing him admit peeping on arguably one of the most temperamental females out there. Deciding to save that for later I proceed. Well, Sai, I would first like to say Ren is 100% girl. I can tell he is relieved. So she is not part angry devil then? Just girl? He asks, completely oblivious to the amount of pain he would be in if Ren heard that. No, I assure you she is most definitely just a girl. An angry, violent, and bloodthirsty girl, but still a girl. Now, in order to show her you like her, first explain that you find her personality to be nice. I continue with Sai nodding at my sage advice, and, poor Naruto, he doesn't realize that just saying a girl is nice won't do it and might end up putting Sai in the hospital. After you do this, give her flowers, drawings, etc. And make sure to always compliment her without using opposites. Sai nods, writing this all down. And Sai, I say later after a long pause of watching the empty road. Yes, Taicho? Never let Ren know you confirmed her gender by peeping, okay? Yes, Taicho. End. Omake. Learning Uchihis. It had been a day since Naruto almost met his end by the Uchiha obsession and he was currently facing the stoic face of his new tutor. Itachi says. Ah, good morning, Naruto tries. Itachi says nodding. Naruto's sweat drops. What, is a language or something? At this Itachi's eyes gleam. Yes, the most useful language out there and is known as Uchihis that is mixed with the grunt accent to create a true harmony of understanding. Itachi pauses, slightly out of breath from saying so many words at once. Naruto can't help but feel like this was some part of some sick joke. But then a book is thrown at him, the basics of Uchihis and gruntinism for non-clan members, and starts dreading Itachi's next sentence. And you are going to learn it, Itachi finishes with a smirk. Naruto can't help but weep at the unfairness of his life. The third Hokage watches the scene from his crystal ball and grins evilly. That will teach the brat to cause me more paperwork. Now if only I could beat this once and for all, he says, causing all the Anbu in his office to snigger silently. They were withholding the secret to paperwork for when the higher-ups managed to plan an organization-wide beach day. Now to make sure nobody in the future tells him the secret before them.
Hope you all enjoyed that. Don't forget to